this movie was amazing. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Dustin.
I'm Wendy.
And we're now gonna do our review for Spider-Man Homecoming.
Hello!
I've been dying to see this. I'm so happy that we finally got to see it. Spider-Man Homecoming is directed by Jon Watts and stars Tom Holland, Michael Keaton, Jacob Batalon, and Zendaya. Peter Parker tries to balance the life of high school and being a superhero following the events of Captain America's Civil War. His powers are put to the test when a new supervillain, the Vulture, threatens the city. We were kind of forced to watch a lot of trailers for Spider-Man Homecoming, even more than what I really wanted to see.
But we didn't see all of them, though.
Very true. We did not get to see all of them. But came a point where I was like, I'm sold. I want to see this movie. I don't want to see any more because I don't want to ruin any more of the jokes. And I know a lot of the clips. There were a lot of clips that came out that I was like, not watching. So my expectations for this movie were really high. And even some of the early reviews that were coming out were like, yeah. So what were your expectations going into this movie?
I mean, it went from cautious to just overly excited because everything that I kept on seeing was really, really good. They weren't revealing too much, but I was afraid that the more trailers that I watched, the more was going to give away and it was going to ruin it was going to ruin the surprise of the movie for me. Sorry, I just choked because I'm so excited. So I am glad that I showed some self-restraint and didn't watch all of the trailers, specifically the international one, because everybody's like, oh, that one gave away a lot.
Yeah, and it was just not only just the fact of spoiling some things, but I just didn't want any of the moments ruined. But when I went in, I was super hyped, super excited, but I really tried my hardest to kind of keep it down and be like, if I go in with too high expectations, they'll never be met.
Though, with that said, what did you like about the movie? Oh, boy.
This is a long list because this movie was awesome. I mean, phenomenal. I loved the character. Tom Holland did an amazing job. Every character in this movie did an amazing job in their roles. The way that they structured the storyline, the way they kicked it off was incredible. But I want to first start off talking about a shining star in this movie, and that is the villain. I'm really excited about the villain because I have to admit, he's probably on par, maybe a little bit lower than Loki, but Michael Keaton did an amazing job on bringing such a good humanity to this character and making it so you could kind of understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, I have to agree. Exactly what you said about him being, I would say, rated just underneath Loki as far as how high I would put him on the Marvel villain list. He is just a well thought out character, and I don't want to give away too much. And it could be that they got Michael Keaton to play the Vulture, and we know how good of an actor he is. He is intense, and you care about him. That's the good thing about, like, I think some of the best villains out there is the ones that you can't help but care about. Like, even though Loki is mean and does terrible things, you care about him.
Yeah.
There's his side of the story that you feel for him. Like, that's why he is the way he is. The same, I have to say, goes for the Vulture. And to go back to the beginning when you were saying that this is the shining star, I actually didn't mean Tom Holland. I think it's automatic that he is a shining star, but it's the guy who plays Ned, Jacob Batalon, I think is how you say his last name.
His best friend.
I mean, you guys, it comes to a point in the movie that we will not reveal in this review, but the audience cheered for him. Actually, I feel like it's multiple times, but there's one specific moment, and you will know it when you watch the movie.
And he got one of the biggest laughs.
He was, I would say he is the heart of the movie. Like, if in real life, I want him as a best friend.
And it was great because he kind of reacted the way that everyone else in the room would react in certain moments. And I'm like, you cannot help but fall in love with this guy.
Yes.
And also, not just the characters. Everyone had their moments in this, and all of the actors did an amazing job. But also just the way they structured their story.
Yes.
The way that they went from one point to another. There was never a moment that was maybe one or two small moments that might have lulled or dragged, but it was making sure that every part of this movie had something important to tell. It wasn't just like a scene to have a scene kind of a thing.
Yes. Yes.
Everything had a purpose, and everything just connected well together.
Yeah, I have to agree. The pacing of the movie I thought was really well balanced, and they gave each character its moment to shine without having it feel like it was all jammed in or shoehorned in. You got to learn and see a little bit more about Aunt May, Zendaya's character, Michelle, the Vulture, where he came from, and how that all started, and of course Tom Holland. I really want to talk about him because we've seen many iterations of Peter Parker. We've seen the Tomei Maguire version, and we've seen the Andrew Garfield version. And I would say Tom Holland is a great balance of the two previous versions combined.
Yeah.
He is younger. He is playing a 15-year-old in
Yeah,
the movie.
I think they said you're 14. He's like, I'm 15.
So, and it's just so natural because he does look young, and he is much younger in comparison to the other two actors when they play the role, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's just natural to him. You can't help but, when you see him in these settings and when he says his lines and these answers in these situations, it's coming from a mind of a teenager. And he just came off this high of fighting alongside, not Captain America, but Iron Man. He fought Captain America, and how do you go from that to go back to high school? So you really see that struggle. And him, what I loved was that he, and I think you can agree with me, is that they really didn't try to make him in the action scenes 100% badass.
They did not.
They definitely wanted to show that, yes, he definitely has great potential.
And great power.
Which comes with great responsibility.
I loved how they hinted at that kind of thing, too.
Yeah.
There was a couple things
But they didn't beat you over the head with it.
No, they didn't. There was a lot of moments in the action to where you see Spider-Man fumbling around. No, wait, stop, hold. And it was very amusing to watch. And to see that, even though he has these incredible powers, he's fumbling around because he has no idea how to use them. He's never done this before, but he's just trying his hardest. And it's very endearing to kind of watch, and just very funny too.
I know in our trailer reactions, I had voiced my concern of them putting too much Tony Stark in the movie, and I was very much like, this is a Spider-Man movie. We've had Iron Man movies. Like, if he wants to make a cameo, it should just be a cameo. Without spoiling it, I would say that Tony Stark is in the movie just the right amount.
And I have to say so too.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you know how much or how little, but he is in it for just the right amount.
Time for some of our dislikes, because there's no movie that's really ever absolutely perfect. For me, unfortunately, I can't really tell you what some of my dislikes were exactly, because they really do fit into the realm of spoilers. But I guess there are some logistics about how some things worked out, and then there is one big thing at the end that somebody says that I'm like, I wish they would have just left that part out. But other than that, this movie was amazing.
Yeah. I think I was thinking about it on the way home before we turned on the cameras to do this review. And the one thing that we can't talk about is a major spoiler, and we will avoid. And I would love to come back later and chat with you guys, maybe via like live stream or something like that. To see what you guys think of it once the movie has dropped and enough people have seen it to discuss. But I will say the score, and I'm nitpicking, the score really honestly didn't stand out to me. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's superb.
And I thought it was, actually, I'm a little bit more on the other side of the fence, where you're like, I was like, you know what? I thought it was pretty cool.
And also, we all know that Donald Glover is in this movie. I would have liked to see more from him. I think he's a fantastic actor. I think he's funny. I think he's charming. And I would have liked to see someone of that caliber anyways, and definitely more than just an up-and-comer. I felt like could have had more in the movie, and I think they just kind of like, they just ended like a scene with him, and then you didn't see him again for the rest of the movie. I'm like, oh, that's it? Okay. And I just thought it wasn't well explained.
Now that everything's all said and done, I have to do something special to give you guys my review. My final to give you guys my final score on Spider-Man, I'm going to channel my inner Spider-Man.
Oh my
because
God.
I love this movie so much. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10 because this is by far the best Spider-Man movie out of all of the ways. Does it look? It kind of looks like I have a little lazy eye and I'm kind of like looking off to the side here. But, okay, hold on a second. I don't know how Spider-Man does it in the movies.
It's called movie magic.
Movie magic, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. 9.5 out of... there we go. 9.5 out of 10 for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Best Spider-Man in the series by far.
I mean...
How about you?
Oh my God. I mean, I don't even know how to top that with not even with the score. You guys, this movie is fantastic. I went in very excited and I was not disappointed, which means I am probably going to go back to the theater to see it multiple times, and I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10.
So that's our review for Spider-Man Homecoming. We had a blast. We love this movie. Why don't you guys tell us what you thought once you've seen the movie? Comment below, like, share, subscribe, and we hope to see you in the next one. I can see you.
Oh, okay.